Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. I'll be showing you how to make this lovely maxi dress from start to finish, including the pockets, the necktie and the ruffle, everything. So if this is what you want to learn, please watch to the end, and also please don't forget to subscribe. Actually do this directly on fabric, but I'll be using my paper for the upper part, that's the yoke, and then my shoulder measurement is 8. That's 16 divided by 2, you have 8. So this is my 8. I'm marking my 8 here. So my shoulder slope will be 1.5 for back, for the front, and then the back is 1 inches. Okay, so my neck width, I'm marking 3 inches, and then the depth for the back, for the front 3, because it is turtleneck, and then for the back my depth is 3, and then the width is 1. So I'll use my ruler, I'll connect the back. So I'm cutting the back and the front on this pattern, then I will now separate them. Okay, so this is my center front. I can also serve as my center back, right? So now I want to measure my armhole. Okay, so my armhole measurement, so I'll use the back measurement. So your armhole, the simple formula that I normally use, your bust divide by 6 plus 1.5. So you have 38 divided by 6, so and then plus 1.5. So I have 7.9 or thereabouts. So I'll be doing it, I'll leave it at 8 inches, right? I'll leave it at 7.5. okay, so from now, remember, from I'm using my back shoulder slope, to measure it. I didn't use my front. This is my front shoulder slope, and this is my back shoulder slope. Okay, and then I'll place my tape on my shoulder again, and then to get the full length. So what I have from my 8.5, so I'll mark 8.5. I need a straight line, so this will serve as my bust measurement. Please guys, if you are new to my channel, subscribe to this channel, and if you are not new but you haven't, please do so and leave us a comment. Please like this video, right? Okay, so I'll use my ruler to draw a straight line, so this automatically becomes my bust line, right? So this is my bust line. So from my shoulder to waist, we really don't need that, but just for the sake of this, 16 inches. From shoulder to waist is 26. So I'll mark my waist measurement. So I'll mark 16 inches here also. So this is my 16 inches. So I'll also use my ruler, and I'll connect with a straight line. So this is my shoulder to hip line. So this is my hip line. Like I said, it's a maxi dress, it is not needed, but just for you to see how I'm going to go about the I'll be placing it on my fabrics, right? So now I'll place my bust measurement. Now my bust measurement is 9.5. okay, so I'll place my 9.5 here, and then my waist is 8.5. my hip is 11, right? So I'll connect like this, and then connect this way. So this is my waist to hip, and then for my bust line, I'll come straight. This is my armhole curve, my French curve. Okay, so I'll connect from here, and I'll place it, make sure it's curvy, then I'll connect it to my bust line. So this is what I have. Okay, so for the back, it's going to come this way. So this is for the back, and this is for the front, right? Okay, so we'll connect our shoulder line now, from our shoulder to our neckline to our shoulder line, and then for the front. Okay, so this is front and this is back. Okay, so let me just label it. This is front and this is back. All right, my yoke. So my yoke from my shoulder now, I'll be doing 7 inches. So I don't want it too low so that it won't reveal cleavage. You know, we'll be using a transparent fabric. Okay, I'm doing 7 now. I'll connect it this way. So I'll cut this as my straight line now. So this is what I'll cut now. So what I will do now, I'll add my seam allowance. So I'll cut this out now. Please remember to add seam allowance. So this is my yoke, guys. So this is the one I'll be using to cut my fabric, plain fabric, and then this is the one I'll be using, the Ankara fabric. So inches, 1 inch sewing allowance here. So I need this. So I'll just connect like this. Okay. So together with the pattern. Okay. So guys, I'll keep this aside now. And this is the upper part. So because this is our front shoulder and this is the back shoulder. So guys, this is the fabric I'll be using. It's a chantilly lace, net lace, and then this is the Ankara, the African print fabric that I will be using. Okay, so I'll fold this now. I'll cut the back first and then I'll cut the front. So guys, this is it. So this is the center back, right? This is my back neckline. So I want to I'll slash the back open. I don't want to do a zip here, so that's why I'm not adding zip allowance. But if you want to do a zip, please add your zip allowance. Okay, so I'll just add my sewing allowance on the neckline and then on the shoulder as well. Okay, so remember we've added already on our armhole, and then I'll add my seam allowance also on this part here, this part that has joining. Okay, so this is it, and then you go ahead and cut. Okay guys, this is my center back neck yoke, and then I'll slash it. Okay, so now ideally I'm supposed to add seam allowance, so I'll slash to this point. I'm not slashing completely. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. So I'll use my bias strip to turn it just a little. So I don't want to add seam allowance. I want it very flat on my back. Okay, so I don't want any excess, so that is why so I was just so a little, that's why I didn't add seam allowance. So I'll take this out now, and then I'll cut out the front design out. So this is it, and then I'll take out so I'm cutting out my back and my front neckline and shoulder. So this is my front now. So I'll place this also. So the front also does not have any, it doesn't have any opening also, so I'll repeat the same thing to the front and I'll go ahead and cut. So I'll add my seam allowance also like I did to the back, and I'll cut. I'll add my seam on my shoulder, on my neckline, and on the yoke line here, and then I'll go ahead and cut it. So guys, this is the front and this is the back. Okay, so keep this aside now, and then we'll go ahead and cut the down part. So guys, this is my fabric. Just like the way you fold on bias. So you place it here and then you throw it this way on the cross. And so this is also, you have a bigger part at the bottom, and then the top, this is the upper part. So this is my pattern. I'm using 65 in total from shoulder to floor, 65. So my 65 minus the yoke is 7. Okay, so I'll have 58. So what I'll be cutting here now, 58. I'll be cutting 58, and then I'll add seam allowance on this part here that will be joined to the yoke. Okay, you place it on here and then you pin it. So before I got this part, I did it behind the camera. What I did was I measured it from the down to this point. So that was all guide. That was how I got this place. So, or if you move it up, you may have a lot of excesses at the bottom, so your fabric will be wasted. I'll place it at the tip here. I'll pin it and then I'll move this. Okay, I'll move it. It's not supposed to be straight. It's a full circle dress. I move it, and then I'm also paying attention to this part here. So I don't want it to cross over to this part. So this is what I have. And then I'll draw my line here. So this will be my, let's say, waistline. Okay. So and this is the part that will be attached to the yoke. So I need this armhole part here. I don't want to guess. So when you're using free hand, you can as well guess, but I want it accurate. So I'll measure my 58 from here. Okay, so I'll measure start my 58 from here, and then I'll move it. I'll keep moving. And then guys, this is 58. You can see my 58 here. So I'll mark it, and then I'll come back again. I'll mark again. Remember, I've pinned both sides, so I'll come to this side. I'll mark my 58 here. So I'll get this part, place my tape, and then I'll measure my 58. So this is my 58 here. Okay, so this is what I have. So what I need to do is to connect it. So if you still also want to be sure, so you can come back again and then measure the center part here. I'll measure my 58, sorry. So this is my 58. So you can see, I'll come this way from here. I'll connect it to this part. So this is how I'll cut it. All right, so I'll come over to this part here. So what you need to do, so you can, two things you can do. You can just from here cut like this, but I just want to follow the shape a little. I don't want it too big. So what I did, I'm sure you can see what I'm doing. So I'll just bring it this way, and then cut it down, right? So before you cut, remember to add seam allowance on this part here. So I'll add my joining allowance. Okay, so remember this is our seam allowance, because the chalk has a way of adding to your measurement. So because I'll be doing the pocket here, I want to notch the point where my pocket is going to start from. So this is my waistline here. So from my waistline, I like coming down 2 inches. So I'll just notch this part here. I'll notch it as my pocket. Okay, it's just a guide. So guys, this is what we have, and then I'll cut the. I'll notch this part here. This is my center, and then I'll notch this part here. This is my center. Okay, just a little more. So you can see that we still have to join a little piece here. So you can see, so my joining will be from here. I just need one piece to complete this part here. Okay, so I'll get my fabric. So I'll pick this part of my fabric, you can see, and then I'll make sure this is the right side. Okay, this is the right side. So I'll place, right side should be facing the right side, so you can see. Or you can just go quickly straight to your machine if you don't mind, and then you quickly run it together, so you can have them together, and then you place it and then you cut. Okay, so I'm pinning it on the line I'm going to sew. So I'm sewing the label out. Okay, so after pinning, now I can now flip it the other way and cut it, or I'll place my hand. I'll use my hand to feel it and cut it. Or I'll flip it this way and then I'll cut. So just make sure you pin correctly. So if you pin correctly, you don't have a problem. You can flip it this way and then cut. Okay. You can see now I don't have equal. My pattern is not equal. You can see. So this is it. So I'll use this also to cut the back. So I'll just fold my fabric the same way and I'll cut the back. Okay, so there's nothing spectacular about the back. So there's no zip allowance at the back. But if you're doing a zip allowance, you place this, and then you add your zip allowance. But because there's no zip at the back, I'll just simply, this is the longest part of my fabric. Okay, so this is it. This is what I have I still have some left, and then I'll show it this way. Just place it on bias, guys, and here we are. Then you place. So I'll get my front now, and then I'll place it. I'm going to place this now. So the back is also going to have joining like we did to the front, okay? Because it's actually very low. Go straight. I'll cut it. So there's nothing more to do. So you can decide to pin, just to be safe. So the same way we join the front, the side. It's just one part. So that is how we'll also be joining the back also. Without placing this, I'll just go ahead and cut now. Okay, so everything is the same thing. I'll start from the top to the bottom. I'm done cutting. So this is the sleeve. So I cut the sleeve already, and then so I have a tutorial on how to cut the sleeve. I'm sure you already know how to cut the sleeve. So for the pocket, I also have a tutorial, but I'll just be showing you briefly. But I'll be showing you how to sew it. So I did 1 inch here. I made 1 inch allowance here. So I don't know if I will be sewing 1 inch from my fabric, okay? So whatever you are sewing from the fabric, that is what the allowance you add to your pocket, okay? So I just did maximum 1 inch. So if I don't sew up to 1 inch from my fabric, and then I will sew ½ inch. But if I do 1, I will sew 1. So I just did the 1. And then you place your finger this way. You it this way. So you don't have to open it. You can decide to open it like this. Or open it wide. So this is what I have. So this is my pocket. This is the upper part, and this is the down part. Okay. So I'll cut this. Now you can see that there is enough space. Okay. So I don't have to add seam allowance again. But if it wasn't big enough, I would have added seam allowance. So this is okay. I don't need seam allowance, but you can do well to add seam allowance. So you can fold your fabric into 4, right? So but this one is into 2. So and then I'll fold again, and then I'll cut. Okay. So I'll open this part here, but before then I'll fold my fabric again. I'll cut another one. So we are cutting for 2 each. Okay, for each of the pockets. This is it, guys. I'll place it and then I'll cut, and then the next video will be me showing you how to join it. So I'll show you how to join. The joining is simple. It's just to attach your yoke to the down part, and then for the back that has it, I'll use bias to turn the neckline, and then I'll fix the turtleneck. So I have tons of video on how to sew turtleneck. So this one I won't be showing you this, because this one is just one of the numerous videos that I have. Okay, so I'm sure you can do that. My pocket is ready. I'll slash both sides open. So this is the pocket, and this is my sleeve. Okay, and this is my yoke. So okay guys, so these are the strip I'll be using. So I folded it. I really don't have much, so I would have preferred it bigger, but it's not much. I had these pieces. I saw it somewhere, and then I decided to use it. Okay, so after folding, I have about 2 inches. So by the time I sew, I should have 1 inch, 1.5. Okay, so I've already started sewing. So I just folded it, and then I did a long stitch on it, and then I ironed. So this is what I've done. So I started from the armhole somewhere. So I didn't start from the beginning. So my sleeve will be here. I just started from here, and you can see I left a little space because it's not much. So I don't want to exhaust the whole ½ inch. So I just want it to be like. So by the time I sew, I brought it down. So by the time I sew, I'll be sewing ½ inch. If the strip was big enough, like it was long enough, like I had like 2.5, I would have started from the beginning. So it's just me managing what I have. Okay, so you just go ahead and fold. You just create your pleat. So that is what I've done. So you can see the little space I left here, and then I'm folding and I'll sew. So please do it to measure what you are pleating if you want to, but so I'm supposed to end here, so I'll fold because I don't want the edge to show, so I'll just fold it inside twice. So I'm done, and then I'll pick my front yoke, and then I'll attach it to it. So this is the center part I notched, and then what I'll do is to notch the center also. I'll place them together and I will sew. So you can see me placing. I'll pin it, and then I'll start from the beginning, from the armhole. So make sure you're placing it rightly. And then I'll sew on 1/2 inch. This is what we'll have. Okay, so now if you have lining, so if you have your lining, you use this to cut your lining, and then you place your lining after the way you place your yoke, then you place your lining like this, you sew, and then you flip it over, then this edge will be covered. But I'm not sure I'll be using a lining, so what I will do after which I will overlock it. After overlocking, what I will do, so that I don't want the edge here to be showing, I will overlock it. I'll use a white thread. So what I will do, I can now tack, I'll just neatly tack it to the fabric. Okay, you can neatly tack to the fabric so it's not flipping up. Okay, but if you don't mind, if you want to use lining, please go ahead. So for the back, so I folded a piece here for a button loop, and then I'm sewing. This is the right side. I'm using my bias to turn. I don't want to do a zip at the back. See the space I left here. The space is for my turtleneck. Okay, so 1/2 inch is going to be like this, and then this is for my small button. I'll be using a small button, right? So this is it, guys. So what I'll do, I'll iron and then attach my yoke to the back. So there is no ruffle at the back, so you can see this is the center back. So I'll notch and place it together with the front, and so this is the back yoke. So like I said before, you do the same thing. If you are doing a lining, you use lining to cover it. Okay, so I will join the front and the back. I'll join both shoulders together, and I'll sew and then attach my sleeve. So guys, this is the sleeve and then I'm using the same strip. This is the sleeve, so I'm using the same strip. So I'm not starting from the seam allowance. So this is the same allowance and this is where I'm starting from. So all you need to do is to pleat it the same way. Okay, so I'm still leaving tiny space here so it can be a little bit like the way I did it to the front. So that's what I'm doing. So you pleat it from one end to the other end. So this is it, guys. So what I will do now is to close it and then I'll sew. Okay, so I already measured my round sleeve is 13, so I already measured it. And so guys, this is it. So I'll do the same thing. So now what I'll do now, I'll just attach it to my sleeve. So now this sleeve is accurate, there's no pleat around it. So make sure you measure your round armhole, you measure it, and then what you have is what you use to, that is what you measure to get your armhole, so you don't have any pleat. So there shouldn't be any pleat, else it's going to alter the design. So it's meant to be flat. So this is it. So I'll do the same thing to the back, to the other sleeve, and then I'll overlock and I'll sew attach my turtleneck. So guys, I'm done fixing the sleeve. So this is the sleeve, so you can see. And if you've been following my video, you know I've done tones on two different types. Okay, so this one is not so much different from, and so you can see from the center back, I'll measure round. Okay, I have 16.5. So I have 16.5. So I'll divide my 16.5. My 16.5 divided by 2 will give me 8.25. Okay, so I want to do it on the paper first, but you can also do it directly on your fabric. So this is my center line. So let's assume this is my center front. So I'm going to divide using this as my straight line, right? So I'm going to mark my 8.25. So this is my 8.25 here. Now mark it at the bottom and then I'll draw a straight line. This is my straight line from my bottom here. From this straight line, I'll come up 1 inch, and I'll come up 1 inch here. I'll look for my midpoint here. So 8.25 divided by 2, 418. So I'll just draw a straight line. Also, I'll mark my 418 here, right? So what I'll do now is ABC. So I'll connect from here. So I'll connect with a slant curve, and then I'll connect it. Okay, so you can see now my line is no longer straight. So I'll just curve it. I'll align it. I'll make it align so that it will not be funny, it will not be pointy. Okay, so after which now I would like to measure again. This is my center front, so I would like to measure to be sure that I have my complete measurement. Okay, so I would like to measure if I have my 8.25 following the curve line. Now you can see, so I now have extra. So this is my 8.25. So this is where it's supposed to end, right? So I will just bring my straight line here. I'll connect my lines here, so it's no longer here because it's now curvy, so it's extended. So what I'll do now is I'll mark the height of my sleeve, of my neckline. My turtleneck is 1.5, so I'll start marking my 1.5 from here. I'll follow the curve, the curved line. I'll start marking my point. So it's not meant to be, if it's on a straight line, it will be very wide. So I'm trying to avoid, I don't want it to be closely fitted and I don't want it too wide at the same time. Okay, and then I'll stop. Remember the height is 1.5, so I'll stop here, and then I'll use my ruler also, my curve, and I'll connect my dotted lines. Okay, so yes, you can see it's no longer straight. You can see that my line is no longer straight. So I'll also measure this. I want to make sure it's not the same with this. Okay, with the no, this is the one that will go over the neck line, while this will be the one that will be at the top, that will be around the top of your neck. So I'll measure it. Remember, when we measured this, we have 8.25, and then I'll have 8 on the dot. So this is like 16, while this is 16 and a half. So I still want it a little bit. I don't want it, the difference is not much, so I'll be doing it that here. So I'll place my, you can see my straight line here, and I'll mark 0.25, and I'll mark 0.25. that's from here 1 to 25, and then I'll connect it to this point. I just want it, so now that I'm doing 0.25, yes, that means everything here is now 1/2 inch, 0.5. So by the time you cut it full, it becomes 1 inch. That means I'm taking out 1 inch automatically from my neckline. Okay, from the upper part of my neckline. Notice it's on the upper part, it's not affecting this part. So what I will do now is I'll just close this part. It's more like a dart, so you can cut it out and then tape it together, or you just fold it this way. So let me cut it out. So can you see? So cutting is much easier. So what I'll do now is to tape it down. So once I tape it down, I still have my actual neckline. So now when I measure, by the time I measure now, I'll have, so you see, so you can see what I have now. By the time I check, I have about 15 inches. Okay, 15.5, about 15.5. So whereas initially it was 18.25, so you can see I've taken out. So it's fine, because if I want it closely fitted, if it's more than this 15, it will become closely fitted. So this one will still have a little bit of ease around the neckline. So I'll cut this out. I'll cut it out. I'll add my seam allowance around. So I'll add it at this part, but on the fabric I'll add on this part, assuming there will be zip, so we can add your zip allowance here. But because I'm not doing a zip here, so I'll just add like 0.5 for to finish the edge. Okay, so that is it. So I'll go ahead now and cut on my fabric, and I'll iron few sable stay on it, and we'll be sewing. So guys, this is it. I'm done ironing. So this is the stay, visible stay I ironed on it. And so let me just explain the simple correction here. So by the time I open, I noticed that this place is quite deep and this place is high. So when you're making yours, what you can do, I'm going to sew, it's still going to come out well, but that's just a simple correction. I hope you got it. So have your straight line, come up on the side 1 inch, then from your straight line just mark your 1.5. that's the height of your turtleneck, and then you connect it to the 1 inch. You know, we came up 1 inch here, 1 inch here. So instead of coming up 1 inch on both sides, just come up 1 inch on the side and then leave this, then you connect. That way you won't have this shape. Okay, so now what I will do, I already iron it on both, so I cut 2 of it. So one will be the main and the other will be the lining. So for the tie front, so I'll be doing it, it's not together with the turtleneck, so I'm doing them separately. I'm going to attach it. So I cut a strip, so cut it as wide as you want, but remember you're going to fold, so I'll be folding it this way. So it wasn't long enough, so I'll be joining it like this. After joining, then I'll fold it. I will sew both sides. I'll sew this, I'll sew it down, sew it that side, on the other side, and then I'll look for the middle. I'll open the middle, and from there I'll turn it out and then iron. So I'll now show you how to attach it. So I'm in the center front, so I will use my chalk, and then I'll get this one, place it this way, flip it over like this, and I'll sew to the end from one side to the other side. So you can get the second. This is the upper part, and so this is the upper part, this is the down part. This part is the same thing as this part here. So I'll be sewing, attaching this part, the up to the up of this. Okay, you can see this part that is a bit high, so when I want to sew, I will bring this straight. I won't make it this high. Okay, so I'll just align, match both. I'll pin and then I'll sew. Okay, so I'm done sewing. Then what you do, you can see it's not really showing. Okay, so now what you need to do for to finish the side, because there is no zip. If there was a zip, now I'll place my zip and then I'll sew. Okay, but because there's no zip, so I want to conceal this part, so I'll place my fabric like this, and then I will sew from here. Look at this part here. I'll make sure I start sewing from here like this, upward. Okay, so after sewing, what you have it this way. So it's going to look like this. So this is how it should be. So the excess inside, you can trim it out. Now you flip. So I'll do the same thing to this other part. So after sewing, nobody should be seeing the rough edge, so you flip it up and then you fold this way. You push this side in and then you fold this way. For me, I like tacking. So if you, because I don't want to see the seam line outside, so I like tacking. So I'll place it like this and I'll pin, and then I'll tack it neatly on this side. So I'll get the center here, make sure the center. So the way I sew this part, that is how I'm going to finish this part also. So I'll place this one this way. Okay, so guys, this is it. I'm done tacking. So you can see, you can hardly notice that it was tacked from inside. So you can see the wrong side. So everything has been neatly done, and then I'll attach my button here. Okay, so my button will be here. This place I will leave it open. For this, I've gone ahead to sew. I joined and then I've sewn it. So I'll look for the midpoint. I'll open it, turn it, and then iron. So guys, this is what you have after sewing. So just fix it like this. Still going to be fine. This is how I'm folding it, and I'm going to so you decide where you want it to be, the left or the right. So me, I want mine to be on the right. Okay, with my shoulder, so I'll just bring it this way, away from my shoulder, like 2 inches away from my shoulder, and then I will pin it. Okay, so this is what I have. So what I'll do next is to fix my button, and we are done. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you got value from this tutorial. Please, if you do, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave us a comment.